anything better than winning between the hedges on Saturday, it's coming home to this on Sunday. On the football field, I'm a coach. At home, I'm a dad. The field is where legends are made, where boys become men, dreams become reality, and teammates become family. Family is the most important thing. It's everything we have. And home is where a family's memories are made. So when the time comes to finance your home, make the smart choice and get your home loan with Southeast Mortgage.
Coach, just wanted to kind of speak about Vandy's quarterback, J. Swan, North Georgia guy from up in the mountains and everything. How familiar are you with him? Did he ever camp here at any point?
Yeah, we had him down several times. Really throws the ball well. A lot sneaky athlete. Kid throws back shoulder balls, RPOs. He spins it really good. You can see why they've had confidence in him. The most recent games, he stood out and done a tremendous job. I mean, for a freshman to go into the environments he's played in, he's played really well.
Yeah. Halfway point of the season, 6 games in. What do you think the identity of this team is?
Probably grit, toughness, the way they practice. I really like it. They're really a unique, connected group. A little different than the last year's group. You know, last year's group was, it feels like they had been around longer. This group has created a little bit of a identity of how they care for each other, but also the grit and toughness they play with.
Kirby's been in practice a couple times this week. I wanted to check on Jalen and Tresman. We haven't even asked you about him, but Tresman, Smile, and you know, also what's AD doing? I know he had that thumb sprain and everything. How much is he able to work?
AD's looked better, but he hasn't probably looked as good as I thought he did in pregame last week. You know, I really thought he looked good in pregame and hasn't quite been to that mark. I don't know if it was the adrenaline or the rush. You know, I thought he looked pretty good in pregame and thought we might be able to use him more, but it didn't work out. He didn't really tweak it again, but he's not 100%. So he's been very similar this week as he's been last week. Jalen's still not practicing with us. He's not taking reps or anything. He's rehabbing. And Tresman warms up, gets loose. He looked much better today. He's able to practice and take some reps. Smile's been very similar to last week. Is that everybody? Kendall has not practiced yet. He's been out there with us. I would say he's probably probable, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to play or not.
Could you talk a little bit about the growth of Dan Jackson and how far he's come so far?
Yeah, Dan's, you know, first of all, he was a talented athlete coming in. He could run. He popped off to us when we ran 40s, and he was one of the faster guys. And I didn't know much about our defense, so it took a full season of doing scout work, learning, playing on special teams, and then he started contributing more. And he's created a role for himself as a really good special teams player. He's kind of the leader of the punt return unit, and he plays in dime situations, and he gives us a lot of reliability, a lot of leadership, and a lot of players on the team respect Dan.
We get to talk to Ryan Davis next. What has he meant for the program over the last couple of years? He's been one of those guys that's been here for a while, kind of waited his turn. What has he meant to the program?
Well, you know, he's a core special teams guy. He practices hard. You know, he played behind those other guys last year. If you were a fly on the wall in that room, you just got talent, just oozed. And he was blessed to be with those 3 guys that left and watch how they worked and practiced. And he was a part of that too. He also had a very significant injury last year that prevented him from being able to contribute in other areas in special teams. And this year he's been able to do that, and he got his opportunity Saturday, and he made the most of it.
Hey Coach, with the injuries, what do back-to-back home games mean for recovery? Does that help at all, no travel?
Not really. I mean, it means we're not on a bus or a plane for a 2 to 3 hour window, but we treat guys on the plane, we treat guys in transit, we treat guys on the road, we treat guys at home. So I would just say that it's just a little more time they can get treated. They're not traveling.
On big recruiting weekend, I understand that sometimes with your schedule changes a little bit in terms of how it affects the next game. How do you work ahead since you're meeting with so many players and potential players on Sunday, or how does it change things up when you got so many recruits in on a weekend for your prep?
I don't really know what you mean. Every home game I have meetings and I have recruiting, right? It's definitely tougher the bigger the game because you attract more, just more sheer numbers. Probably more high-profile players the better the game is, right? So we have a lot of those, but we don't change anything. The amount of time we have is the amount of time we have. So we have meetings Friday night, we have meetings Saturday morning, we have meetings Saturday in the middle, we have some meetings Saturday night, we have meetings Sunday morning, and then we have meetings Sunday afternoon before they leave. So it's constant. I mean, we try to meet with every kid we possibly can.
I know that kids, giving out their number they want could be a recruiting tool, that type of deal. And a lot of times they mean something to the kids, what number they have. Have you seen that over the years with how numbers mean something to kids, and what did 16 mean to you when you played?
I didn't know anything about 16. That's what they gave me. So I didn't have a lot of, I didn't go in and complain about it. I can promise you that. But it really hasn't changed that much. It's changed if you allow it to change you. So if you want to make it a big deal and you want to, sign a recruit over a number, you're probably gonna have a lot of problems with that kid when he gets there if it's all about the number. So you know right away that it's going to be an uphill battle if he's more worried about the number than he is, how to get on the field. Not to say that we don't talk to guys about numbers; they ask about them, and I don't think many kids nowadays, especially with NIL, put that high on the priority list of what the jersey number is. So we have a system that we believe in on it, and we follow that system.
Yeah, curious about Kamari at this point. Can you just talk about maybe what you've seen from him to this point in the season? Also, have there been any players that kind of took him under their wing, kind of mentored him at this point?
Kamari's a really tough, competitive, great leader, great kid, 4.0 type student in high school. We recruited him for a long time. We knew his high school coaches well. He came over and camped with us, sent videos to us during COVID. Just a lot of respect for the way he competes and carries himself. He's got a tremendous family and a Georgia background. He's played good. He could probably tell you himself. He's got a lot of areas he can improve in, but he's a good football player. He tackles well. He's smart. He listens. But I'm proud of what he's done for our team.
A little bit of a personal question. You were talking about your schedule and everything. When you get into the grind of the season, week to week, what do you do to kind of take care of yourself? Do you have anything? Are you a runner? Or you do yoga? Do you have any kind of routine you do to try to protect your health?
I have a routine of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is pretty intense for our coach's schedule. Wednesday is a little better. We go home after practice, so you get to see your family. I like to say we catch up on Wednesday, Thursday, take a deep breath, and then get ready for Friday, Saturday. There's not a lot of time I have in the day to do other things. I should exercise more. I don't. I like to eat. That doesn't couple well with not exercising. But spend time with our players, and what little time I have, spend time with my family.
I'm assuming you get a good bit of exercise on the field. I mean, I see you running
Not
around.
as much as I should.
Count?
Not as much as I should. I mean, I find myself yelling for the players to run, and I'm walking. So I used to run a lot more, but legs are weary.
Kirby, how would you assess the development of your young wide receivers, and what are some of the challenges of bringing them along?
Challenges are opportunities. Something about playing receiver that you really need to do it in a game to get the utmost confidence. And Dylan's probably got a little bit of that. Denylin, he's played more than most freshmen, but still not a lot. C.J. Smith's really come along well, but hadn't had a ton of opportunities. Those guys are getting a lot of reps and getting better in practice, but it's hard to gain the confidence and experience you need until you get live game reps, and those guys have not gotten a ton. They've gotten some. Oscar's gotten some. So I'm very pleased with that class of guys. It's probably the first wide receiver class that we can say across the board, man, they got some good players in it. They're just not like there right now. They just, there's a couple guys in front of them too.
I noticed an uptick in snaps for Oscar on Saturday. What has sort of led him to earning that opportunity?
Well, it's not that he didn't earn it before. I mean, he was probably ready and prepared prior to. We had a little bit of a 13 package. in the 13 package was opened him up to be able to play, which is, the 3 tight ends. So he was in there and he played, and we look each week at how teams play different personnel groupings, and we thought that was an opportunity to take advantage of. Sometimes it has to do with the depth at other positions that allow us to do that.
So jumping back to Kamari a bit, since becoming a starter, we've seen every now and then he'll have those missed coverages. What are your obviously he's young and learning. What's kind of your message to him in those scenarios to kind of keep his composure and to keep going from there?
Yeah, he's not one to miss coverages, so I don't want to put. You said that, not me. I didn't say he missed coverages because I don't think Kamari misses many coverages. He might get beat, but there's a big difference in a missed coverage and a one-on-one. When you play football and you play out on that island, you guys don't notice when a D tackle gets blocked. They get blocked every play. You get noticed when a corner doesn't make a play or maybe gets beat, but he understands that. He knows that every day at practice he's on an island, and you live on that lonely place, and you have to play the next play, because if it's going to take your confidence to get beat once, you won't last long at DB.
Kirby, with Kamari and the clip that went out there about him and Jamon on the sideline of Missouri, how do you find a balance between players delivering a message to other players and coaches being the ones who deliver that message?
There's no balance. It's great when players deliver messages and talk to guys, as long as they do it the right way and they do it for the right reason. He was frustrated that he came out of coverage in a scramble, and really, in a lot of ways, Kamari wasn't wrong. He was the forced player. He was the flat player. So it's one of those deals that he should have plastered and stayed on him. He didn't. It was a mistake. We talk all the time in our organization about being able to accept criticism and accept leadership. Just as important as it is to have leaders in your program, it is to have people that will accept leadership and not defy it or not crumble when people confront him. And I thought he handled that well. And he's had the same thing where he's gotten on people, because he certainly has great work ethic and has earned the right to hold people to our standard.
Coach, we'll circle back to Ryan Davis just a minute. It seems like him and Trez have been dealing with something ever since they've really been on campus. Can you just kind of just talk about that journey a little bit? I mean, how tough has that part of it been for him and his coaches, and I'm sure his teammates have encouraged him and stuff, but what's it been like for him to make it back from all these obstacles to come back where he is now?
So is resiliency. I mean, he talked all off season about, he stands in front of the team and talks about what he's been through and how tough it's been, and you keep plugging away. And I can still remember when he came in my office the COVID year and said, "Coach, I'm gonna sit this thing out." And I said, "No, you're not. You're staying with it. You're gonna stick it out. You're gonna keep playing. You're gonna keep practicing." And he was ready to just shut it down. And I'm so glad that he did, because he's become a better person. Number one thing Ryan's done is, he came in and there was times he would slack academically and maybe not do what he was supposed to do. And every academic report we've been getting on for the most part has been good with him. And he's grown up. He's you see these guys as coaches as a freshman and sophomore, and you think, man, is this guy gonna make it? And the next thing you know, their third and fourth year, it hits them. So many players I can remember in our organization. Riley really is one that sticks out. It's just like they changed and they realized it's much easier just to do it right on the front end. And he's done that. And he's also done that with a lot of injuries. And football's a tough sport. I mean, you guys in this room played it, but it's physical and it's hard. And you're not always healthy. And it makes you question what you believe in sometimes. And I think he's been through that, and he's come out on the good side of it.
Kirby, I know that you have absolutely no interest in being a favorite, but if somebody would have told you that Georgia is the national championship favorite at the midway point of the season after losing what you lost through the portal and in the NFL, would you believe that would have been possible?
I wouldn't have cared. Because I don't trust the source, so I really don't care.
Circa. It's the Circa Sports.
I don't even know what that is.
Or do you want to keep a stat for yards gained by offensive linemen pushing your running backs?
I don't know. I know Dale has some dog yards, but that's mostly, after contact. But it would have been a great stat for the last game. I agree with you. That's something Coach Searles takes a lot of pride in. And I thought, the 2 or 3 plays Warren McClendon ignited our entire offensive line, because on the play you can see he never broke down. His goal was, I'm charging on, and everybody saw him, and it was like, well, if he's going to do it, then I'm going to do it. And they all piled in. When you're really special when you got 5 guys doing that relentlessly. I would say Warren was doing it relentlessly, and the others joined. But I don't know what the yards were, but it definitely helped.
Got time for 2 more questions? Anybody? Raise your hand. All right, right there.
I may be wrong, but I thought earlier this year you said that is there no longer a leadership committee as there used to be in past years? Will there be in the future? I know you said you're doing the connectedness a little different.
Yeah, it's just not defined quite like that, you know. It's like information within your family stays within your family. We didn't really have one last year. Don't really have one this year. We've got a great group of guys that all love each other, and it doesn't mean I don't reach out and speak to guys and ask guys questions, but it's not really labeled that way.
Circling back to numbers, because it intrigues me, what's your system, if you don't mind, of what a player?
Yeah, that stays in the family. If I told you that, then every coach in the country would use it against me for recruiting. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.